What is up, people of the extranet? Tyler here with Random Applesauce, and today I bought probably the ugliest Geo Tracker that one could buy, but I absolutely love it. But here's why. You see, originally I looked at this 94 Geo Tracker and I said, there's no way I'd own that thing. It's just the most hideous pinkish purple with the tealish green font on there, and it's peeling off and the paint's peeling off of it. But then I got to kind of thinking about it and I was like, this is the ultimate 90s time machine. You got the chrome, the solo cup, you know, the little white, blue, pink, you know, the cups they make shirts out of, yeah. But then I started kind of taking a look at it, and you know what? I said, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. The inside's pretty good shape. There's a few little things, like someone busted out the radio and put some sort of custom plate there. And the speedometer makes a odd noise sometimes. Take a listen. That's fine. But overall, I took the top off. It's in here, but it was over here. But you know what? I said, you know what? This is actually kind of a perfect vehicle. A lot of folks want to buy a Jeep, and Jeeps are cool. And this is only the two-wheel drive model. They do make these in four-wheel drive, or they did make these in four-wheel drive. But a lot of people want to buy Jeeps. And you know, when I've had two Wranglers. I had a 88 and a 05. And the thing about that is I thought it was cool to take the tops and doors off, and I thought it was cool to drive, and you just look cool. And you kind of were. I mean, you'd have people that would ask you and say, hey man, you gonna sell that? Or hey man, that's a cool Jeep, you know, it's a good time to take the top down, you know, whatever. Here's the thing about this. You can do all the same things. I guess you can't technically take the doors off. You could, but I mean, I don't know many people that do that. But the top comes off, you get the same open air feel, and nobody's going to ask you to buy this. Now, this particular tracker isn't perfect by any stretch of the imagination. It's got quite a few problems, and I'll kind of show them to you. But I kind of like the simplicity of this interior. First of all, I absolutely dig the solo white, blue, pink, purple cup theme you got going on the seats. That's just amazing. The interior is trimmed with body pieces that are painted to match. So this is a very bright pinkish purple vehicle. You can even tell what color it was supposed to be before it all faded. But the inside is very utilitarian and very basic. I mean, your gauges, you don't get a tack, you don't get an oil pressure gauge, anything. You get how fast you're going, and that sometimes works. You get a fuel gauge, and you get a temperature gauge. This thing only has 148,000 miles on it. And you know, that's another good thing about this. The little Suzuki 1.6 liters are actually extremely reliable. You could basically run these out of oil, which is a good thing because this has an atrocious valve cover leak, as you can see here. And, you know, you could practically do that and it would run for some time probably with no oil. Of course, you don't want to do that. I get it before you write in the comments. But that's what makes this thing awesome. They're crazy reliable, way more reliable than a Jeep, I would say. And you can do almost the same stuff, but the thing is, this thing is so tiny. So back to the interior, you get a mad smiley face and a happy one, I guess. I don't think that's factory. See, the thing is Geo didn't spend a lot of money making things, you know, really fancy. They just made them practical. You know, this is a shift lever out of a Toyota, I believe. You know, you get death or serious injury can occur by airbags. This don't have airbags. And on this side, you get four-wheel drive operation. Doesn't have four-wheel drive. But you know, that's not really the complaint. It's the fact that it's so simple. I mean, it has air conditioner and it actually works. And you know, that's all you really need in a little fun recreational vehicle. And this here, you can get for the price of a quarter of what a Jeep costs. Now, I do understand if you get four-wheel drive or something like that, it's going to cost you more. But I mean, for less than $2,000, you can pick something like this up, and it's pretty crazy. So one little quirk, I had a couple little hard times finding a couple things. I tried to figure out where the hood release was for this vehicle. I looked under there in your typical spots for about 7 hours and I couldn't find it. I looked under the seat. Then I looked in the glove box and I was like, well, I don't see anything. Well, it's actually right here. So I looked for 7 hours to find the prop rod to find out it was broken. Doesn't work. Then I spent 14.5 hours looking for the dipstick. Now, I know you guys see it if you like Geo Trackers and you know exactly where it's at. I had no idea. I looked over here forever. So the only real problems this engine has, or mechanically this vehicle has at all, is it's a little low on brake fluid, and I get a brake light. It's fine. It's just danger. which I got to figure out. But it has, as you may can tell by the water pump, a very atrocious valve cover leak, and the valve cover looks really rough. Not the valve cover itself, but the quart gasket going around the edges. So, gonna replace that soon. But overall, you get a very reliable 1.6 liter Suzuki engine. I'm not a huge fan of Suzuki, but these things are just, you can't kill them. So this thing is actually full of Easter eggs that, you know, you don't really think about, like the fuel door being right here. It's on the passenger side, which is, not too uncommon. They even cut out a little notch for that. You know, I don't know, I noticed the little small attention to details. And another thing that I noticed on this was I had no radio reception, which was kind of sad. You know, you want to cruise in this with your one speaker and listen to the Barbie theme song, I guess. And you can't. Well, I found out you got to pull the antenna out. It actually goes, I didn't show any of that on camera, but it pulls out of this thing, and who knew? So, you know, the build quality is typical 90s Japan. You shut the door and it shuts very loudly. And the dash is falling apart in some places, but you know what? It has the Japanese reliability. Fires right up. Work at AC. As you can see, I've got a check engine light, which is OBD1, which I have nothing to read that with. I wonder if you could take a little paper clip and jump it like you can on some General Motors things. And then I have a brake light, which sometimes goes off and sometimes comes on, depends on what angle you're sitting at. But you know, the engineering's not the best. When you hit the brake, you can hear the shift lock literally disengaging right there. But if you put it in gear, yeah, that's another thing. Definitely needs some engine mounts. But what I love about this is it literally has a go-kart feel to it. I mean, it literally feels like you, and I said literally like 18 times. Oh, that's rough. Maybe transmission mount too. But it feels like you can turn this thing on a dime, and you really could because the wheelbase is so short. It's crazy. I can do laps around my backyard, and my backyard's not that big. It's pretty cool. So there's the S10. There's gonna be a video coming on that soon. That's another project, as if I don't have enough already. The Corolla, it's going soon. I've actually got a new vehicle to replace that. Video coming soon. Let's take it out on the road. There's that expensive dog. There's the brake light again, that if I release the brake sometimes goes away. The engine's very buzzy because it has a exhaust leak, which, you know, it's 1.6 liter, it's already buzzy enough. But my friend had a Isuzu pickup truck way back in the day, and it really reminds me of that because he just kind of flipped that thing around like this and just kind of pulled out and did his thing. Let's get it on the highway. So it smells like a mixture of burnt popcorn, and it's running richer than Oprah Winfrey, but I think it's just the oil leak. And acceleration is meh. But the crazy thing is this thing just turns on a dime and does its thing. Brake light's gone. Overall though, this thing handles really well. The only thing I noticed about it being such a tall SUV is that when you pass a larger truck, it has the tendency to just kind of want to go, I don't want to be on the road anymore, so you got to kind of be careful. And it doesn't have tilt wheels, so it's like you're driving a semi, but you're really driving a very small vehicle, and leaves are flying everywhere. One thing that's similar to a Jeep is probably your seating position. You're probably sitting just as close to the back wheel as you are the front, so it gives you that feel of, I can turn this thing on a dime, and you really can. I passed a Jeep Wrangler and I did the Jeep wave. They didn't wave back. That's fine. So at the end of the day, is it a Jeep? Nope. Is it fun to look at? Nope. Is it fun to drive? Yep, absolutely. And it'll outlast any Jeep out there, like that one. So if you guys enjoyed this video, actually, I like that Jeep. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more like it or more on this particular Geo Tracker, be sure to subscribe to the channel, ring the little bell, and until next time, we'll catch you in the next one.